Hello, hello, good afternoon. And we've made it to Friday, and what a Friday it is. I love that today started getting a little nicer as far as the weather. It was nice to be able to take the jacket and the, you know, bucket hat off to keep all the rain out. And it started right after I got to work. I was walking to the front door from my vehicle when the as torrential downpour, you know, periodically, of course, not consistently, but when it first started. And it's funny. It's just funny. It's nice to have a nice end of the day, especially on a Friday. Going into the weekend, be a little happier, a little more grateful. Um, really, today is it's been a great day, as you might expect. I've been told that I say that I'm tired a little too often. Well, it just so happens that I'm a little tired today. But, it's Friday, and fortunately, I don't necessarily have to do one of those 24-hour Fridays that my brother and I seem to find ways to do every Friday, trying to get stuff done, catch up for the week, going to the weekend, all that type of stuff. So I really like that I'm home a little earlier. I'm able to, take an earlier nap. Earlier sleep is always a pleasure. But um, really, one of the more exciting things, I just started this morning I started a podcast. I think it was Randall Carlson was a guest on the Joe Rogan Experience, and it was just great. And I'm only in the last like 5 or 10 minutes of it, but excuse me, just the just the perspective of uh, how to review geological history. I mean, if you look at ice cores and you're looking at the different weather, what we can distinguish would be from different weather, or different seasons, and how it shows the weathering of each season in the ice core going back over a great period of time. And when you have incredibly thick glaciers, it's a lot of information there in theory. So it's very interesting. And I've always loved history. And I say always, meaning I might have to think about it a little longer to think of before this, but I, at Flint Hill, I'll have to say in high school, Miss Summers, of course, hello, Mr. Mead, hello again, and Mr. Desarega, Mr. Des. I really got, I can't say fully a new perspective, though I have to say, um, uh, watching in Mr. Dez's class, I'm sure we learned a lot when maybe he didn't get a chance to preview the movie before, and of course it's a Stone Age piece, if you will. But is it Good Earth or I remember Ayla being the person's name? But anyway, you see, but that's what I mean. You remember the stories that they wrap around the history, but either way, we always had a good time in history. Always learned a lot, and always I remember even thinking about it was such a small thing, and it doesn't. In my adult life, I feel like I see a lot more things like this now, but even discussing how the history of the tin can, being able to preserve food, and hopefully avoid botulism. But the main thing is it changes a culture when you're able to say, I have this food now and I can store it for later. So it looking at that in American history is when discussed it, and that was Mr. Mead, and even thinking back to looking back like Franco-Prussian War and the eventual and progressive joining of Prussia and Germany uh, during the 1800s. The and even when I think about it, the newness really of a lot of nation states that we today might take for granted. I mean, even Italy as we know it is only a couple hundred years old, and I'm thinking I'm even overcounting that. But the main thing I've is that it's just interesting when you look at a perspective of younger nations and even the growing pains of America right now. It's just incredibly interesting, and I didn't realize that it was that I was so fortunate to be so engaged with history, looking at how history isn't really a large part of today's curriculum in schools, and it's just very interesting, especially in Virginia and being in the Richmond area. There's a lot of history. Of course, not all of it the most encouraging, but it's history nonetheless, and you feel a part of something. So it's just so interesting to see that in this area, even looking at my nephews and different different people, but it surprises me. It really surprises me. You expect it to be, the be proud of this in a more positive light type of scenario, and I just don't see it. Um, just very, very interesting. Very, very interesting. And the oh yes, actually, this I've been I didn't think I'd remember all of that when I'm thinking about actually next thing I wanted to really just go over. I mean, congratulations. It looks like one of my coworkers, one who hasn't been there so much as from when we first opened, our pharmacy didn't open until really February of 2013. But he came in a long way and just worked well. It's been really great. It's been an honor. I can say honestly that I've respected the work ethic, and the number one concern is, let me help you get some rest somehow, in some way, hopefully. And I think that's good. We have someone who's trying to work you would more than you would wish on them. You respect that, and certainly thank you, and a nod to you, sir. And good luck to you. So, in in essence, um, there'll just likely be a couple of changes coming up here in my workplace, but nothing you can't handle. I'm always encouraged. I don't know why. Well, it's normally things are pretty good, so I know. Wish him well. So, as far as the rest of the evening, I see myself, like I said, relaxing. I probably won't even turn TV on. I try every single time. Every time I get a chance, I try to turn on PlayStation and play a couple games instead of watching Netflix or something. And it just seems like I never have the time I want, at least, to devote to it without feeling like I'm just completely ignoring something that I would also need to get done as well as want to. So I am very, I am very looking forward to whenever I wake up. That will hopefully give me still a couple minutes to maybe, start a new Dragon Age 2 game or something. Maybe. I don't even know. But we'll see. And if nothing else, at least it's the weekend. So it must be great. It's always great. Right? I think so. You agree?